Hello, everybody. Happy Thursday morning. It's Dave Neal, stand-up comic, and we've got Vanderpump news to get to. That's right. Last night was the epic finale, and I am not using any hyperbole whatsoever. The most epic finale of any reality show I've ever seen. So epic that there's going to be 3 different reunion parts coming up. Are they milking the hell out of this? Yes. Is there enough content to be milked? Also, yes. Follow me on Instagram at DNeals for stand-up show updates. I've got shows coming up in Nashville and then New York City. And also, don't forget, every morning our Patreon, patreon.com/Dave Neal, will have behind-the-scenes live stream. If you want to donate to my channel and like the content we are creating, go to patreon.com/Dave Neal. And every afternoon, Bachelor Rush Hour, the podcast is free. You can go check that out. Okay, let's get into it. I've got different clips pulled up from last night's episode. I don't even know where to begin. Of course, this finale was not supposed to exist, right? Last week's was supposed to be the last episode. They picked cameras back up, as we like to say here in reality TV terms, as soon as they found out some stuff was going down, right? March 1st, Ariana finds a private screen-grabbed FaceTime between and she didn't say exactly what was on that video, but between Raquel, a.k.a. Rachel, and Tom Sandoval, a.k.a. what do they call him? A worm with a mustache? Is that the new term we're using? Anyway, Vanderpump Rules. Tom and Raquel profess their love for each other. It was just an absolute bonkers episode. Of course, it starts out with information we already know, which is this crazy scandal happened. And so often in reality TV, you see right through the fabricated storylines, but this was an instance where you go, this is the most real of reality TV I've ever seen. Now, is everything Ariana is doing post getting dumped real? Well, of course. She's monetizing the fallout of a long relationship she invested her time in. And if that means she gets to go on Dancing with the Stars, if that means she gets to do a PR rally and have people root for her and get an Uber Eats commercial, I say good for her. I mean, when you invest 10 years into a relationship that, in hindsight, at least the last 3, 4, 5 years, it looked like Tom Sandoval wasn't really into it, then of course you're due for whatever karmatic windfall you would like to receive. So let's just go to some different clips here. Very fun. We see Kristen. We had this like Titanic moment where we have Kristen and Ariana essentially talking about their ex-boyfriends, which is very interesting. They've become friends. I don't know the history. I don't go all the way back. Maybe you guys in the comment section can fill me in here, but they obviously were on the other side of this issue years ago when Tom started his relationship with Ariana. And Ariana said, oh, I'm going to be different. And that's how kind of Raquel feels right now, is I'm going to be different. And the issue could be any number of things with Tom Sandoval. Clearly, he's not right emotionally. I feel like when you cheat, just like he'll admit, it's because of bigger reasons not being addressed. And rather than have that difficult conversation and break up with Ariana, he, of course, went behind her back with her best friend. So the different levels of cheating here, we've got Tom versus Ariana, Ariana versus Raquel. We also have Schwartz supporting Sandoval. I don't know of a scenario, and again, I'm not the biggest expert on this show. I've thought about this with my own personal friendships, and of course, I have a hard time coming to an example of if there's a situation of a Sandoval-like cheating scandal that I would not defend, but that I would stand by my friend. And I do think you should stand by your friends. I think that does say a lot about somebody who's not just going to disown their friend, but this is a very complicated issue where he's also friends with Ariana, Tom Schwartz is, and he's also friends with, trying to maintain a friendship with his ex, which of course blew up in his face this whole year. So you really go, what side morally are you on if you're Tom Schwartz? You got a business partner in Sandoval. You've got friends in the friend group. And whether you pick a side or not now, people have already kind of looked at your actions. So just a tough situation. And what's interesting, too, is we've got Ariana, who now still lives at this point with Sandoval. I mean, they own a house together. And yet she's receiving just beautiful roses here. Roses and rosé. She's got the whole thing happening. And you wonder, does Sandoval have to, does he have to deal with the roses and throw them out when they're old, or if he just wants to get cereal, he's got to move a bouquet of roses out of the way. Each one of these roses stemming, see what I did there, from the breakup, of course, all because people are rallying around Ariana. And we had a really interesting moment with Sheena when she got in her fight with Sandoval, and we'll show that clip in a second here. But Sheena was saying, look, because Tom Sandoval was saying, oh, she was going to harm herself if I broke up with her. And Sheena was saying, that's why you get all of her friends, call them all up, and have them ready for when you break her down, and we'll pick up the pieces. It's a very interesting way to look at it, which it makes a lot of sense. I've never been a part of one of these group breakups or anything, but yeah, it's an interesting way to think about how, to deal with it. It's like, look, just because it's a hard conversation doesn't mean you don't have it. It means you prepare for it. And here's what Tom had to say.
End a relationship. This is not...
You be a adult and you have a conversation with her. And you say...
I tried to. She threatened to kill herself.
So, of course, Sheena says, be an adult, have a conversation with her.
You know what you do, Sandoval? You fly in Tanya, you bring over Jeremy, and you have all her friends there.
You get all of her friends there.
Ready to rally around her like we're doing right now. You literally say, I'm leaving.
And then Sheena sets her own boundary and says, I can't be friends with you anymore. She's heartbroken. Yeah, you see people that they clearly Tom Sandoval has to have redeeming qualities for people to be so sad that they've lost him. Or maybe it's just Ariana and Sheena thought he was a better man than he actually is. It's one of those things. It's hard. There's obviously a lot of disillusionment happening. Is that a word? There's a lot of looking at Sandoval and saying, I wish you were the version of you that I thought you were. And that's a version that's dead for Sheena and Ariana especially. And for that reason, they are mourning that loss there. Sheena gets served with a temporary order of restrainment by Raquel, aka Rachel, because Rachel's got a gash on her eyebrow. I'll tell you what, I'm all for drama, but assault is assault. Okay, assault is assault. And Sheena's like, I couldn't have punched her. I got nails like this. And it's like, whether it's closed fist, tomahawk, slap, flicker in the eye, it doesn't matter which one it was. If you laid hands on somebody, you kind of lose your argument there. And even Tom Sandoval, who was on the speakerphone, said, he told Raquel, yeah, she punched you in the face or whatever it was. It could have been her ring grazing up. Either way, if you're touching somebody, you have to deal with the fallout of what happens when you touch them. And it doesn't make it right, but this is, an eye for an eye makes the whole world blind. All right, so Tom Sandoval makes his rounds. And again, this is the most free-form conversation I think I've ever had regarding a show, but it's like, where do you begin? He makes the rounds with Lisa Vanderpump and, starts hyperventilating. Look, I'll tell you this, and I'm going to tell the fine folks over at the Up and Adam YouTube channel, which I'm doing at 9 a.m. Pacific time this morning, hanging out with them. I am as gullible as they come. Okay, so when I watch Tom Sandoval's emotions, I actually believe him. That's just my character trait. I'm ripe to be scammed. I believe people. Maybe it's like just my small town personality. I don't know. So when he's hyperventilating and feeling horrible, I believe his emotions. I don't think he's faking it whatsoever. You could argue, why is he feeling these emotions? Why is he hyperventilating? Is it because he's sad what he did to Ariana, or is it because he's sad he got caught, or is it because he's sad of the fallout? Because he's got all of his life savings invested in a restaurant that's going to tank now because of this. And Ariana, she's, doing a good job of setting her boundary and saying her truth and her piece. She said, I regret every moment I stood up for you, defended you, supported you. You are worth nothing, and I want you to feel that deep in your soul. Yikes. And hey, good for her. And then the weirdest scene of all time was Sandoval and Raquel, like taking a shot. They turn the lights down. They put the mood lighting in. They almost kiss, but Tom whispers in their ear, I don't want to kiss you with the cameras here. And Tom mentions to Raquel that his family loves her. He goes, they love you. And she goes, I love you too. And he goes, I said, they love you, but I love you too. So they love each other, but we knew they loved each other when they were friends. So the question is, do they love each other now as more than friends? I'll tell you this. A lot of people seem to have enjoyed James Kennedy here eviscerating Raquel. I thought it was too much. And I just thought, I don't know. We know Ariana was dealt with a crazy issue for her. She's got the world rooting for her. In the end, you want people to overcome their issues, but at the same time, let's not pretend like Raquel's clearly got issues she needs to work on. The last thing she needs is gasoline on the fire she's already rightfully created. So let's go to hear what James Kennedy called her up. Oh, hit the play button. And then, of course...
Yeah, well, it definitely is eye-opening.
You lied to everyone's face. You've done diddly yourself over. And, like, all the people...
So it's like, okay, you know, dancing on someone's grave, the best thing to do is take the high road on the way out. But here he is.
Like, trashed it for, like, Sandoval's little cocky cock. Like his stinky 40-year-old cock. Like,
okay, there it is. It's a kid's show, folks. It's family. But anyway, there's Kennedy's response. And somehow he's like last man standing, and now he's like, crowned the king of the Vanderpump family. Because Schwartz and Sandoval dug their own graves. But that bar is set low because I don't know. I know he feels a certain way. We'll probably get a more accurate view of their feelings on the reunion, which it looks like Kennedy's going to try to beat up Sandoval. Here's an interesting thing that happened at Watch What Happens Live is you have Ariana responding to the fact that she knew before she was official with Sandoval that Tom did actually hook up with somebody else.
Was brought up tonight. Tom mentioned that you have always known the truth about that.
What actually happened between the two of them?
They slept together. It was before he and I were exclusive.
All right, well, if Ariana knows they weren't exclusive, then maybe, I don't know, does he get a pass on this one? But Ariana also mentions that Tom Sandoval cheated with somebody else. She has an idea about who it is. I think she said it's someone who's not in the Vanderpump universe. So is it a Bravo alum?
And I didn't want people to think the absolute worst of the man I thought I was going to spend the rest of my life with. So I defended him.
So there it is. I mean, it makes perfect sense. She defended the man she thought he was, or at least the man she wanted him to be. And now that he is no longer that man for her, she's revealing some of the truths that she lied, or not lied, but she sort of defended him in instances where he probably would have come out looking bad. Now she's letting him dig his own grave. And there it is, folks. That's the finale. We'll have more recap and reunion content. I'm going to have a fresh take on Vanderpump this afternoon as more information comes out. There's literally just nonstop people with statements and this and that. If you want to check that out, it'll be on the afternoon podcast, bachelorrushhour.com, or just search Bachelor Rush Hour wherever you listen to your podcast. That's free, and you can go check that out every single afternoon. All right, folks, we'll be back with more content after this.